suffering throughout her life. At age 6, she suffered polio, and it left her right leg severely deformed. And, you know, she used to wear double socks, and she had to have special shoe made for that right foot. So it was always something that she was personally very aware of and was somewhat disabled. Kids called her peg leg, that type of thing. You know, this is what kids do in school. And it made her feel unusual, even as a young girl. And it also led to her, maybe her defiance. Because as a youngster, when you go through that, I think it helps build what your later character will be like. She meets Diego Rivera while she's in preparatory school. She's studying to be a doctor. Very bright lady. She meets Diego. He's well known. He's a larger-than-life artist. He's 10 years older than she is. 20 years older, excuse me, thank you. He's 20 years older. And he's so well known, and she's just infatuated with him. He's an incredible womanizer, will have many, many affairs, and he tells her right off the bat that he's not made for monogamy. His doctor has told him he cannot be monogamous. This is one of these clever, one of those things, you know, I can do what I want, you can't. And much of the things that she does is a reaction to this constant infidelity and betrayal, and yet she was conflicted. She loved him, and she was attracted to his aura. He respected her art, and she respected his. That was one thing they always had in common. So here we are, a couple of years into the marriage, and she paints this marriage portrait for a doctor friend in San Francisco. And she's wearing the type of clothing that we associate with traditional Mexican clothing. It's called Tijuana style clothing. It's long skirts, rebozos, very jewelry that's very Mexican in orientation. She wears her hair up and usually has some type of a hair ornament in her head that is also very traditionally Mexican. She wears a rebozo around her shoulders. This is traditional Mexican dress. She did this for Diego. He felt that women should not wear European dress. He was part of the new elite in Mexico, and she was too, and they had a feeling that if you're Mexican, you should dress Mexican. She also probably wore it to disguise her withered leg, too. It played in beautifully into her disability, okay? Also, you'll notice what Diego's wearing now. What kind of clothing would you associate? It's more modern. It's a suit. It's a shirt. What colors are they? All colors. Anybody know the colors of communism? Red. Well, yeah, it's red. That's their sort of banner color. But what kind of clothing do communists? Very plain blues and grays. That's one of the symbols of communism. They were both communists, and they both felt very seriously about it. And Mexico was going through this revolution. 1910 was the Mexican Revolution. There was a lot going on in society in Mexico. They were part of the intellectual elite of Mexico at the time. But I wanted you to notice the way she paints Diego and the way she paints herself.
She made herself small and let him be big.
Yes, he was a big guy, but she's made herself even more diminutive, hasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Especially at the feet.
Look at the feet. She had smaller feet, but aren't they a little bit too small? They almost look like they wouldn't hold her up. Sometimes we would call her style here, in this particular work, very primitive. Or sometimes they call it naive. These are just names they give art. Basically, it's self-taught art. Art that is not dictated by academic traditions or schooled traditions. So she's teaching herself how to do this by looking at pictures, looking at photographs, and then interpreting it from there. You'll notice a real flatness to her canvas, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of depth. Very shallow space in the background, right? She makes him the one with the palette and the brushes, right? He's the big artist. He's the big macho, right? Macho guy. And she tilts her head in a little bit towards him. Up at the top there's a dove, and then there's a little these are very common in colonial, Spanish colonial paintings. In other words, in the colonial places that Spain colonized, this was a very typical tradition to put little ribbons of information on the scene. And in there, it just says, here you see Diego and Frida married in the city of San Francisco. They weren't married in San Francisco, but this was painted in San Francisco. So that's just, it's like a little identification ribbon, right? You'll notice her eyebrows, right?
Mm-hmm.
She had somewhat of a connective eyebrow here, but in her paintings, she overdoes it. She exaggerates it. You'll also notice she exaggerates her mustache. Not in all the paintings, but you'll see that. The next section of any questions?